I was probably about 12 years old, so
Mm.
quite early on. And I was just with a couple of my school friends, my chums, after school one day. I think we'd just been to the park. You know what 12-year-old boys, I don't know what they do really. They just kind of
Mm.
just go to the park and just muck about, you know.
Yeah.
So we'd been to the park mucking about, the three of us, Dean Williams and Stephen Payne and me.
Brilliant. No protecting their identities. Bring
Find
it
them.
out.
Find
Yeah.
them.
Find them.
I would say I changed the names to protect the innocent, but
You
there were no
didn't.
innocent parties
No.
involved in this story. Dean Williams, otherwise known as Dino. Uh,
Oh,
Oh yeah, I know. Oh no,
Stephen Payne. What do you think
Stevie.
his nickname?
Payno?
Payno. Yeah.
It was it
Mm.
So
Payno?
Dino and Payno.
No, and Payno. Dino, Payno, and Luke. It's like Rod, Jane, and Freddie, but a
Yeah.
fucked up version.
Uh,
Luco.
no,
Luco.
I was always just Luke.
No?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Um,
sorry.
yeah, never really got a good nickname. Just Luke. Yeah,
Lukewarm.
okay. Yeah, no, don't. Luke Puke, maybe. Um, so Payno was kind of like tall and quite sort of gangly, right?
Of
But
course.
not like good at things. He just a fluky bastard. He was just one of those kids who was just always good at everything,
Mm,
particularly computer games. He was really good at computer games and good at music, but
mm,
like playing with he had a Yamaha synthesizer and he was good
mm,
at that and he was good at computer games. He wasn't particularly like sporty, but if you played football against him, you know, he'd always win. He had a
mm,
toe poke which was very effective. He just sort of like punt the ball and it was unstoppable and accurate.
mm.
And Dino, he had his head looked like a turnip. Everyone made fun of him because it was sort of went out at the back like a turnip. Not much more to say. He was kind of a fairly sort of shrimpy kid, really. His dad was a Welsh farmer. So we'd been to the park and we were walking back, probably just I don't know what, talking about like some Sega computer game or something, and walking down an alleyway. You know those alleyways in England where it's like next to a park, there might be like a metal fence on one side and an old brick wall, maybe a railway bridge or something.
Yeah.
Walking down this alleyway, and up ahead there was like this white thing on the ground. And as we approached it, it became clear it was probably a nappy or something. And
Oh no.
Pano jogged forward, did a 180, did a toe poke, but it was a sort of like he managed to toe poke it and
Oh.
flick it and flip it, and it sailed up into the air.
Oh man.
And it was the inevitability of it,
Oh.
where it was spinning in my direction, and it was
Oh
literally slow
no.
motion where the only way to describe it is to give that sound effect of that.
Yeah.
You can imagine, because it was sort of like heavier on one side than on the other side,
Mm.
so it definitely like it almost like a boomerang style motion as it sailed inevitably through the air, and yeah,
Centrifugal
landed,
God.
motion.
centrifugal force in
Hmm.
action, and it just
Wow.
landed slap bang on the top of my head.
On your head.
Yeah, and stayed there.
You all just stopped and looked,
They
laughed,
obviously
probably.
they pissed themselves. I mean,
Yeah. To add
I
to
couldn't
the.
help laughing as well, but it was definitely disgusting. Like, get the thing
Oh,
off my
I
head,
hate
just
that.
like that. And the weird thing was that obviously it was wet and yucky on my head, and there
Oh.
was definitely poo involved.
Oh
Not all of it.
God.
I didn't get all of it on, but there was poo in my hair. But also, weirdly,
Oh.
there, I looked at my hand and there was like these weird little bits of gel, these little gems of gel, which was very strange because
Oh.
nappies are full. The reason they absorb fluid or whatever, moisture, they're full of these sort of gel crystals. If you
Yes.
rip one
Yes.
open, all
You
these sort
see
of
it.
weird gel crystals
Mhm.
come out. So these gel crystals were all mixed in with all this feces
Oh
and probably
no.
just rainwater and whatever. And it was like,
Oh,
what is this? What alien baby created this?
it's on your head.
Yeah, it's in my hair and stuff. And
It's almost the start of a face hugger equivalent. It could have gone
Yeah,
over your face and then
Oh,
could have
it
ended up bursting through your stomach.
it was like
oh my God, that's
have you seen
dreadful.
that Alien prequel Prometheus? Have you seen that?
No,
You
no, I've
haven't
not.
seen
No.
that? Oh, well,
Mm-mm.
anyone listening who's seen that, they'll know the black goo. The black goo in Prometheus is just like this generally bad stuff, and if it gets into your system, then you mutate into some sort of horrible alien precursor.
Oh,
So it
it
was a
made you
bit like that.
French.
Like, what is this sort of this extraterrestrial sort of
Oh,
shit gel stuff? It was really confusing. And so obviously I got back to Pano's house and I was washing out my hair and stuff, and that's it really. That's the experience I had. These days I deal with a lot of nappies,
of
but
course. You must have
luckily
PTSD.
Ever
Okay, no.
landed on your head when you've been
never
changing
had
a
one.
nappy?
No, never had one land on my head. But tell you what, if it did happen, I don't know what I'd do. I
Yeah.
don't know what I'd do. I would just be back to being 12 years old again on a wet alleyway near Coventry.
It had been
Oh my
raining as
God.
well, so it was all soggy.
It was all soggy, and
Oh no.
I don't know how many days it had been there, discarded in this
Oh,
alleyway.
not in a nappy bag. I assume we, as responsible
Oh
parents, would
no,
put it in a nappy bag, wouldn't they?
absolutely. Put it in the bin. Just keep it until you find a bin. But this
Yeah.
one had just been tossed aside,
Oh,
and its destiny was to end up on my head of all places.
on your head. It's funny because you made us kind of, you've really taken us on a journey here where you've made us miss England and love England by talking about the pub. And then you've painted this picture of a Coventry alleyway with
Yeah,
the railway bridge and a dirty nappy. And it's made me gone, oh no, yeah, you're right to live in Paris.
yeah. I mean, it could be a scene from a Ken Loach film, couldn't it?
It could. That's it. I was the
Yeah,
Ken Loach, Spike Lee. It's one of them, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. I mean, if that was part of a wider narrative about
Mm.
maybe me being unemployed or me, I don't know, being at a very strict school and
Yeah.
finding a kestrel and that would be an award. I'd win an award for that, wouldn't I?
You would, for that scene particularly.
Well, you've
Yeah.
won awards for your podcast, but I don't think it's related to the nappy incident.
No, I don't think it's
Unless the nappy incident shaped you to become this amazing creative that you are.
must have done, right? I mean, must have,
Those little
must have.
gel crystals infused you with mind abilities.
They went straight
Yeah,
into the brain
Yeah.
it did.
and sort of, yeah, it's like Prometheus, but in a good way,
Exactly.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. We'd need a control for this experiment, wouldn't we? We'd need another version of me that didn't get the poo
Yeah.
gel
Like
in my
sliding
brain.
doors.
Sliding doors. God knows what
Sliding
could I be
drawers?
doing? Sliding drawers.
Sliding drawers.
Yeah.